Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my channel. This channel is called Full Potential 1000. It is where I share my thoughts, my experiences, my past. And I hope that by me sharing what I know, maybe you can relate. And maybe it can help you or you can help me. By the comments, you just comment something, something. And I like it. But today's a special one. I think from now on, it is a special one because I'm going to talk more honest and more about what's in my mind and my experiences. Today I want to speak on somebody that played a big role negatively in my life. And the way there's such a big negative role, I can't even call them anything close to me. I can't even call them my stepfather. But I just want to call them my little brother's father. But shit, man, even now, I feel uneasy even just trying to speak about it because I'm like, damn, what will people say? Because this is a lot, and it was even though I hated it, I did hate it. I don't really want to, not that I actually want to share it because it's a big thing, and people can relate. And maybe I can get help, but I'm scared too to be judged. But I'm jumping into the lava. And this person, I don't really wanna expose their name just because I'm honorable. I wanna be truthful, and I don't wanna be petty. I don't want that bitch ass shit. So for now, I'll call him Jack. Let's call him Jack. When was this? So let's say 2015 actually. 2015 was the year that my little brother was born. And it was a happy day. A happy day. Because it was like, wow, I finally have a little brother to my blood. I have siblings, and I call them my brother and my sister, close to my heart. But this time it was like, this guy is my blood, pure-blooded relation. And then I was excited for that. I don't even know how old I was. Maybe, let me see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was 10 actually. 10 years old, and I was excited. And he was born, and he lived with us. And my mother, one day I remember my mother was like, yo, I want you to meet his father. And of course I was young, and I felt like, even if I was like, and I did have thoughts, I was like, no, I don't want to meet a person that I don't know, but I feel like I couldn't say anything because I was a kid, and I feel like my words mean nothing, But then, of course, we met him. I met him. And when I met him for the first time, of course, I was like, like this. And I don't know you, But it was like, the first time I saw him, I was like this flashy person, Immediately tried to charm me with things, I can buy you data, I can buy you airtime, you want a phone? I can give you a phone. money, give you money. Like he tried to throw all of this wealth to me. And back then I didn't really understand it. But now I can see that he tried to that's his way of making people love him. Because that's not necessarily love him, but that's what he thinks is his best trait. And that's what he shows to people. But obviously back then I didn't know nothing of that. I was just like, okay, because I don't know you, and because I don't know you, I'm not gonna like you because you're trying to give me all this wealth, buddy. I don't know you. But days go on, months go on, and it came to a time that I started living at his place, visiting, let me say. I'd stay for like a week or days sometimes. Because my mother wanted to make it a family. She wanted, I felt like she did want me to have a father figure because my father wasn't there at that time. He wasn't there. He didn't come and visit me. So I think my mother tried to make that, possibly, but I may be wrong. But then came the first incident, Oh, I'm pretty sure I was still 10. I'm like, usual routine. I'm visiting his place and I'm with my mother watching TV. And I don't know, there was like a party. There was a party and there was a whole lot of noise. At one time there was like arguing. And my mother, I think she went out or something. I barely remember that day. But I just remember the big things that stayed with me. And she went out. And once she went out, as soon as she went out, only a few minutes later, I heard screaming. Screaming and like arguments. And I know the scream. This scream is my mother. And as soon as I hear this, I get up and I get running. And as soon as I reach over there, I see this guy just grabbing my mother by the clothes and slapping her. I don't know, that shocked me. And it's not even a shock of like I'm surprised, but it's like a shock of I'm young and I've never seen this before. And it just hit my brain. And as soon as I saw that, I just turned to an animal, on instincts. And I didn't even care that I was small and he was big and it would be impossible to beat him. I had one thought: I gotta stop this. And I ran over him with these little hands and I grabbed him by his clothes the same way he was grabbing my mother. And I was just crying. But as I was crying, tears falling down on me, but I had this expression of hate, pure rage. And his eyes, I saw once he looked at me, I won't forget this, because he had an angry expression. He was also angry. But as soon as he looked at me, he was kind of like, thrown aback that, damn, this expression from this child. And I remember that I was so mad that I was like willing to kill that day. I was willing to kill him. And as I grabbed him, and I remember I was on my tippy toes too, in order to reach him, because I was so small. And I was crying because I'm like, God, my mother's hurt. How dare you hurt my mother? And this rage I had on my face was like, I'm gonna kill you. I barely remember what happened after. I really don't remember what happened after. I assume that maybe my mother calmed me down. I think so, but I don't even remember. I remember that day and that emotion I had, just pure rage, and it was like rage and sadness mixed. That was like fusion. And wow, I don't hate it, but just explaining the story. And then after that, of course, I never wanted to see his face. I never wanted to even go back there. I never did. And I went back home to my grandma's house. And I'm pretty sure I told them, maybe, I'm not even sure. I don't even remember. But I already decided that I don't want to be there. I don't want to see him. But then my mother comes to me and says, you gotta go over there. We gotta visit. It's been a while. And I was like confused. What? What do you mean it's been a while? Do you not remember what just happened? My brain was cracked from that. I'm a child. I never saw that. That's the first time I've ever seen that. I have to take time to understand this. But I couldn't tell her these things because I felt like I have no say. I'm just a child and they control my life. By that time, that's what I thought. So when she said that, I had no choice but to go back. And I went back. And the funny thing was that he pretended like nothing happened. When he saw me, he's like all giggles and smiles. Hey, Paul, how are you doing? Oh, it's been a long time. And the way I know my mother, like me and my mother, we're so close that even looks our communication. So by that time, she could see that I do not want to smile or laugh. I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to hug you. I don't want to touch you. Leave me. And she could see that. And once I looked at her, it was like she told me by that look that don't do that. Don't do that. Don't pretend. Don't show that you don't like him. Just smile. And that's what I did, but I couldn't do it to the max, I could just do the action, but every inch of my body was like, what are we doing? This is not, like, I didn't want to do that. So it kept on going like that, like pretense. But in my heart, I already hated him. And I already had this rage inside me for that day. I was still holding on to that day. Like, you bastard. And by that second meeting, I think we ended up moving. They ended up moving and they went to another place to live on. Oh my God, it's like flipping chapters. Every move was a chapter. Going to the next location, second location. And man, God, that was the biggest one. That one, and I was still visiting. But now it was like longer. Because when I was off school and I wasn't going to school, it was like holidays and, free days and whatever, I go there. And it's not like I want to go there. But my mother, I felt like I was forced. Because my mother was like, on my ass. Come, visit. And I feel like she only did that because I was like her comfort in that whole horrible situation. So I think that's why maybe she did that too. But I know definitely I didn't want to go there. I just went there because I felt like I can't say anything. So now I'm visiting to a second location. And now it still pretends. Still pretends, and it's like you get to see more of him. And the more I saw of him, the more I hated him. The more I was disgusted of him. Because now and then there will be arguments that they had. Of like, oh, you love your son more than our son. Like, what? You love Mpo more than Tabang, which is my little brother. You know, those kind of comments, they didn't hurt me because I already hated him. So anything that he says wouldn't mean anything. But it only made me more hate him and more disgusted of him. And I was more hateful that he made my mother live this horrible life. But eventually I would realize that she also picked that. And I can't blame anyone. I'm not supposed to blame anyone. But I'm gonna tell you a story. And then a day comes. The fighting happens again. By this point, I don't even know. It's like on number what? Like, I don't even know. It's countless. But most of them I never saw this. For me, it was like the second one. But I'm sure for them it was like countless. But then I remember this one was like we had 2 rooms in there. And I slept with my little brother. And my mother slept with him. And every now and then I would hear banging noises. Screaming. And every now and then I would have to go out, run, pull up on the door. What are you doing? To protect my mother now. And I don't even remember much of that second location, but what I remember is that that's when I got depressed. I got depressed and I had this habit now because I really wanted to cry because I hated this life. I hated this life, yeah. I hated living there. And I felt so uncomfortable. Every day felt so uncomfortable and unbearing. Like, why am I here? And I would sleep on the couch, which is funny. Because they had a maid, of which I don't even understand why they even had a nanny. She was like a maid actually, because she would clean and make food. Because this guy was like trying to look like he had money. You know, when people come in, he'd be like, check me out, I got a maid and she cooks for us. Yeah, I got money, yeah. But it's like, you got money, but we're living in a 2-room and, you know, but I don't want to talk about that. So I would sleep in this couch because the maid would sleep in that room, you know, with my little brother. And I felt like I was being chastised, maybe. Like, you don't deserve to sleep in this room. Be gone with you, sleep in the couch. Like, I felt like that's how it was. And in the couch, oh man, that couch has so many tears. I would cry every night. Every night. If I didn't have a reason, I'll find a reason and I'll cry. I would cry and cry and cry and reminisce about the things that I did. I hurt people and cry and cry and cry. Cry my heart out. Nobody would hear. nobody knew. And I'd watch anime, and I specifically watch the sad anime because I wanted to cry, and I'd cry, and I was heavy on depressive music. XX Tentacion, Juice WRLD, Lil Peep, Benson Boone. I think that's not his name, but I don't remember. But like, it was like heavy depressive music because I wanted to cry, and I was depressed. But then I feel like the crying kind of helped me to not go even deeper. But it did affect me. Because in school now, I couldn't speak to strangers because now I was ashamed of who I am. The part of me that cries, I was ashamed that I even get scared to talk to people. I didn't want people to see that. And I was afraid that they'll judge me. Even I wouldn't even share the music that I listen to because I was afraid they'll joke on me. You know, they'll be like, "Oh my God, you listen to this?" I wouldn't share it. I wouldn't even share anything that was me because I felt like it was wrong. It was lame. People would laugh at that. People wouldn't like that. You're so useless. Like, look at this. That's how I was. I was operating that way. And surprisingly enough, I found a girlfriend even if I was in that state, which is crazy for me. I'm even surprised even now. How the hell did I? And funny enough, I got a really good one. And I'm not talking like she's the one. No. I don't do that stuff. But I'm talking as in a girl that really likes me. And it was like a blessing from God because I feel like in my whole life, I've only dated girls like that really did like me. But her, she was like number one in rankings of she liked me the most. And I liked that. You know, I liked that. I did like her too, but it wasn't as much as she liked me. And I was cool with that. But I feel like it ended up creating an ego in me. And I started telling myself that I'm a badass. I can get any bitch. And, you know, I never appreciated the things she did to me, for me, anymore. Because I thought that I deserved it and I expect this. I felt like I expected this, so I couldn't appreciate her. I couldn't show her how important she is to me. So sometimes I'll treat her like she wasn't that worthy to me. Even though she was, but sometimes I wouldn't show that. Because I had that ego in me. That pride in me. That would tell me that, nah, bro, you're a big boss. But when it came to talking to strangers, that ego would run away and fear would come back. But stepping off that depression, you know, I wouldn't even talk to people. But the crying saved me from being like, from giving up in life. You know, instead, when I cried, it made me feel like there is some good in life. And it gave me hope to be like, not not feel like it's the end of the world. You know, I didn't feel like it was over for me and I'm dead and this is how it's gonna be. Because crying gave me a relief from the whole situation. But then That was the second location. I'm trying to bring back my thoughts so I can make this in a straight line. So the second location gave me depression, and I was still depressed. And from I hope I'm not leaving anything from the second location, but we moved to the third location. And in this third location, by now, it has been like maybe 6 years knowing this person, living with this person. 6 years of rage and hate building up, because in all of that 6 years, the beatings were still going on. And it wasn't just the beatings now. It was the toxic relationship. You know, he used to say to my mother, "You will never amount to anything. You're less than me. Look at you. Look at your family. Your family has nothing. They have no money. Look at your son. He's nothing. He's not in university. He's not in college. He's nothing. Even though he passed high school. Look at him. He's nothing. Look at your brothers." And that destroyed my mother, because she believed it. But for me, I never could accept what he said, because I already hate you. Why would I listen to you when I hate you? So anything he said, it only enraged me. Even more. I hated his guts. His whole being. Disgusted. And the whole influence that he had, I was disgusted. But in the third location, because we moved again for the third time, it was like, what's the beatings that I remember that day? Oh yeah. So from then on, the beatings were less because I was there. And from 2018, I was training too. And I was probably way beefed than now, because I had this rage. You know, I would lie to myself that I'm training for my health and da. But I was training because I hate him. You know, I was just pouring this hate out with training. And I'm not really happy about it, because it made me feel like I couldn't let go, you know? I couldn't just stop anymore. Because I was also afraid of people. What would people say? You know, people would feel like, "Oh, goddamn, bro, you're not out on training," and that would affect me like I'm less than now. But I was always important. But then, I was always beefed, you know? Anytime he would try to beat my mother, I was there. I was like the shield. And my mother would even call me sometimes. "Paul, he's trying to beat me." And he even, one time was like, he bit my mother, like right here. Maybe like on her leg, I think. And by that point, I was like, I don't know, I lost the reason to be like, I need to fight him, I need to beat him up. Because it felt like, what the fuck are we doing? Why am I here? You know? It felt like that. It felt like I'm a dumbass, like, just being in this situation. So anytime he would do things like that, I was still hurt that my mother was like that. And I wanted to support her, make her feel like, you know, it's okay, and I'll protect you. But I was like, man, what the fuck are we doing, bro? And the funny thing is that you would ask me that, so why didn't you go out, bro? Why didn't you just leave? Why, you know? By then, Pela, you were like 17, 16. You were old enough to decide. But it's like any time that I was like, guys, fuck this shit. I want to go back. I want to go home. I hate this man. Beyond and above. I hate him. And anytime I would say that, I would tell my grandma, yo, I hate this shit. I mean, I'm trying to leave, bro. Shit sucks. God damn. Bro, this nigga tripping. And he's out here throwing us, like, he's toxic, bro. Like, god damn. You know, and I'm crying. I'm bawling out. God damn. And anytime I would say that, my grandma would be like, Aish, oh, Aish. Oh, but push on, Paul, push on. What am I pushing on for? What the fuck am I pushing on for? With due respect to my grandma, but what the fuck am I pushing on for? What the fuck am I doing? Like, that's the biggest thing that I hated the most. I don't hate them. I love my grandma and my family, but I hate that they did that. Push on. You gotta help your mother. You gotta, okay. Why am I helping her then? Like, why? Okay, what does she want from this? And I don't think she knows too. And once I sat back and I looked beyond myself and just looked at the situation, there's nothing that I was benefiting over there. I'm not benefiting anything. Nor is my mother. And then there were times that I was like, Mama, let's just go back, bro. Divorce this bitch ass motherfucker. And let's just go back. And it should be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to embarrass myself. Like, going back home, divorced. Like, you're not only divorced, but also you're going back home. At this age, I can't do that. But what the fuck, bro? I was so mad that day. I was like, because of people? Bro, fuck people. I don't want to be sad because of people. Fuck that shit, bro. Nah. No way, man. Because of people. And I don't hate my mother. But that's how I felt that day when she told me that. I was like, what? Because of people? And of course I didn't tell her that. I was like, okay. But because of people, though? Shit, man, fuck people, bro. God damn it, fuck people. Cause damn, bro, like, okay, we go back, then people are like, God damn, can't believe Paul's mother came back. Oh, what a failure. Da, 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 da. Who cares? 10 times out of 10, you won't even hear that. It'll only end at their mind. Like, you won't even hear it at your own ears. Like, so every time they told me that, push, what the fuck am I pushing? You're telling me that I'm trying to win this guy? I don't care for this nigga. And the funny thing is, he used to buy groceries too sometimes for my family, my grandma. I don't appreciate that. I spit on it. But my grandma appreciated a lot. Too much for me. But now I don't really have a problem with it. But back then I was like, what? Why are you even smiling at him? You know what he did. So much that I hated when they did that. I felt like it made me feel like I was alone. Because my mother couldn't be there for me. She's also getting fried. God damn. And I'm also getting fried because I'm the one. Man, sometimes it was so brutal. There was one time she came back with a broken nose. And remember that time, man, I was just tired of the whole shit. Even when they argued, sometimes I wouldn't even stand up immediately, But my heart would react. My body knew. My body would always be like, bro, I know you hate this, but nigga, I'm scared. And I don't want this to happen. Let's get up. So I'll just sit, but my heart is pounding. And I couldn't even rest because I'm like, I hate this, but god damn it, I don't want my mother to get hurt. So that day, I heard like a scream. I came out, poof, ran. And when I came in there, I just saw my mother's nose bleeding. And it was broken. And I felt so defeated. I couldn't even try to hit him. Because it's like, I felt defeated. And I wanted to cry so bad. And I don't know, this whole situation just zapped the energy out of me. And I don't know, I don't want to feel like I'm lying. Because I was also scared too. Of also getting beat up. Actually, no. I wasn't scared of getting beat up. I was scared that if I hit him, it won't do anything. I remember I had frequent dreams of me fighting somebody. But as soon as I punched that person, there was no damage. And that was because subconsciously I felt like if I hit this man, it won't do anything. And I felt like if that happens, it'll feel like I'll be defeated, like it's over. At this point, I'm just the meat shield. But I already acknowledged that subconsciously. And I think that's why I always doubted. Because in all of that time, I never punched that man. I never punched him. I never made him bleed. I've only grabbed him by the clothes, grabbed his body, pushed him away, shoved him away. That's the only thing I did, but I never punched him. Because in my mind, I felt like I was weak. Even though I was doing all of this training, I still felt like I was weak. Never trusted in my power. And so, oh God, my mother's nose was bleeding. And I just went in front of her. And I told myself, because I was also getting affected by the situation. I was also feeling like I put him in a pedestal too. Because sometimes when I was watching TV and I was relaxed, I'm in a relaxed position just like now. As soon as he came, I felt like I have to prostrate myself. Like I couldn't just be lazy because I felt like in his mind, you'd be like, I'm a disappointment. And even though I told myself that I don't care for what he says, deep down, there was still a little part that judged myself through his eyes. And when I was protecting my mother while she was bleeding through her nose, and he was like, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. A part of me reacted to that. Internally, I felt fear. I felt like, oh no, I gotta listen to him. But in my mind, I was like, I'm not moving here. I'm not moving. So it was like I had this pedestalized image of him that he's not greater than me, but He's dangerous. And he was just this big bad villain that has hurt and used not only my mother, but also me, my little brother, and anybody else that ever knew him. So I made him to be this big enemy that is bigger than me, more powerful than me, stronger, could hurt me. And I never wanted to admit that. Never. This is the first time I even admitted, but I never did want to admit that. Because I felt like that will make me weak. I felt like people will be like, you feared him? You were scared of him? Oh, you a bitch ass nigga. I never wanted that. I never wanted that. But the truth is, I was never any man of steel during that whole situation, but I was also scared. I was scared of getting beaten up. I was scared that I was weak. I was scared for my mother. And I had hate for him. And I had hate that I wasn't supported. And I had hate that I was alone. Because there was even a time that I felt like nobody can help me. And it was only me that could help me. And I tried my best though. And I want to do more even now. And you know what? This is doing more. I don't care if this video goes to an hour and people don't watch it. But damn, I feel a lot of relief saying this. Damn, I didn't know. Let me open up the window a little bit. It's kind of hot. Damn, this window won't open. Oh. So I was protecting my mother then, and my mother was like, call the police, call the police. And when I reached out my phone, he grabbed my phone and said, you ain't go get this phone. And in my mind, I was like, I gotta fight for the phone. I'm supposed to take that phone back, punch him. But in my soul, I was scared to do that. He's gonna hurt me. What if I can't hurt him? What if I disrespect him? And I didn't want to admit that. I just felt it and never acknowledged it. Because it felt like I was weak for that. And I was wrong for that. I really did feel like it was wrong. But it wasn't wrong. This is how I feel. and my feelings are valid no matter what. And it ain't a bad thing to feel like I was scared from a person, like I was scared of a person. It's not a bad thing. It's okay. It's fucking okay. But that's how I felt. And I let him take my phone. And then subconsciously I was like, if I'm gonna leave him to take my phone, I'm at least not gonna allow him to hit my mother. Because like that feeling was much stronger than any other feelings that I had. And I don't know, I think she did call the cops with her phone. And I think she was able to because I was like protecting her, going left and right and whatever. And then his pussy ass ran away. But he came back like the next day. It's so disgusting how he knew even if my mother would call the police, but nothing would happen. Because in his mind was like, she'll still want me. Yeah. I'll still go there. And it will go back to normal. Which wasn't normal, it was just pretense. And it did. It did. Because he came back the next day. And I was so triggered. Immediately when I saw him, I felt fear. And he went to my mother and he started arguing again. And this time, it involved my little brother. And while he called his friends too. And of course, birds that flock together. Damn, that's not the saying. I forgot it. But they're the same. Of course, the friends that he has are the same as him. So the dude is like laughing. Like his friend is laughing at this. And I was so disgusted by that bitch ass nigga too. Because I'm like, you the same as him. You think this is fun? Does this look funny to you? A child is involved. A 17-year-old is involved. This so-called adult is being a bitch child. And this 17-year-old is having to protect his mother. Do you not see this mother is dead? My mother was dead in that relationship. Dead. She was barely hanging on actually. My back. But like, he was like saying, you witch. You fucking witch. You evil. Calling the cops on me. Evil ass woman. You know this bitch comes 1 a.m. in the night. Fucking bitch. Fuck you. Evil woman. Like, by that point, my mother was numb to that shit. I was also numb to that shit because you just know his pattern. Like, oh, he's gonna say this. Oh, check, he's gonna say this now. Oh, after this, he's gonna say this. He knew his pattern now. It's just the same bitch ass, same person with just one little personality. But the one thing that stuck with me that day was when he said, you witch, you bitch ass, you evil woman. My little brother goes out to say, my mother was like, she was trying to take him and put him in his room because she didn't want him to be involved anymore by this. But as soon as she reached out her hand to that boy goes out to say, don't touch me, you witch. I said, what? What? And I get that, oh, he's influenced. His father influenced him. His father changed him. His father, his father, his father, his father, his father, his father. La 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 la. I get it. I know. I know. And that's why I was just watching a podcast from Coach EO, and he was like, you should appreciate that people abandoned you. And it's funny now because my father abandoned me. Even if he won't admit it, he did. He never came to me. He was never a father. He never was there to guide me every step. Never was there. But I'm actually lucky because how is a person that is suffering gonna guide a child? You wanna see the example? The example is with my little brother and his father. That same situation could have been me. I could have been a bitch ass. In all respect to my father, like my father, I could have been a bitch ass like him. He's okay. He's not horrible like him, like my little brother's father, but he trips a lot, okay? When he gets drinking, he gets violent, he gets annoying, he wants to be around you. Oh, my boy, I love you, my boy. Why don't you love me? What are you doing? So I could have been like that too. I really could have been like that. So I gotta appreciate God that I was abandoned by him, because there was nothing he was gonna give me that would have been good for me. So I understand when people say is his father and the influence, da 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 blah blah blah. But the funny thing is, my mother was also being abused by my father. And there was this one memory. Well, not being abused back to back. I won't even try to sugarcoat it or soften it. She was being abused. And there was this one memory that I'll never forget. I was young and I had a lot of screaming. I said, what's going on over there? And I ran over there. As soon as I came over there, I see my father choking my mother. And I got him. I got on top of him, and I tried to choke him too. Cause I'm like, what are you doing? And he grabbed me, and he threw me on his bed, and choked me too. And I had this traumatic, that was trauma, okay? And people, when kids try to hold my neck, I'll twitch or I'll go like this. Don't touch me, because anytime you touch me, I'll remember that memory, that fear that I had. So his hand was always on me subconsciously. But then I trained myself and I let people to touch me here more and more and more. And I felt comfortable and I let go of this traumatic response that I had. But there's still more things to let go from him. But I've done a big progress. So it's funny that even when I saw my father choking my mother, I could remember that my mother, and I loved both of them, I loved them equally. But I could remember in that moment that my mother is the greatest person that I have in my life. And my father is the greatest person that I have in my life. And during that time, because that time I was with him for a time, But in that moment, I knew that he was the one in wrong. And I couldn't just sit there. So it is funny that when I tell people that how come I didn't just side with my father? How come I didn't just sit and just wait for him to do that? No, you're different. It's not the same. He's not the same person. Okay, then. All right. All right. I don't wanna hate him, my little brother. But I just can't get over that. You know, I can't just say he's a child. I say he's a child, but he's a child that chose on purpose. Because I know damn well that in that moment when he said, "Get away from me, you witch," he still had those memories of him and his mother having great memories. My mother showing him love, compassion. He had these memories, but he chose to side with his father. You know, no, I gotta get love from my father, so let me betray my mother. And it's like my mother wasn't really bothered by it that much. She was hurt, but she was like, I know he's just a child. But for me, it stayed. And that's when the relationship between me and my little brother changed for me. Because I could never see him as family anymore. Till this day, I don't. And I know it's not good. And I'm gonna work on it, but from a distance. And he was so happy. You know, Jack. We call him Jack. Jack was so happy. Jack was so happy that his son said that. He's like, yes, son, good, good. He's a witch. She's a witch. Evil man, evil woman. I said, what? Shit is fucked up. And his friend, meantime, is laughing. I hated the situation, bro. I hated it so bad. Shit. God damn. Fast forward, we moved to the 4th location. And on that 4th location, my mother moved out of the country. And it was this guy, I couldn't see him anymore. And I loved that. Because I was staying home. And I had a job too. But I was happy that I would come and he wasn't there. I was happy when he's away. And it was so great that even my aunties and my grandma and my sister would come and visit because they know he's not there. That's how much they all didn't like him. But I hated that, the pretense. I also, I couldn't pretend anymore. For me, it got to a point that at first it was like I could smile, you know, I could fake smile, but then it just eventually it got to a point that I couldn't even fake smile. I just stood there, you know. Like the most that I could do is not tell you how I feel, that I hate you. And my mother ended up coming back. And when she came back, she wanted to move out of the country with us. And still then, you know, I didn't lead myself, you know. I couldn't take decisions for myself. I always got in my way and I was soft. I still am now. I still am. And I do want to change that. But then when she proposed the question that you want to go out of the country with me, I felt like I couldn't say no. Because right then when she told me, I immediately thought of the times that I introduced my ideas to her and she rejected them. Ah, you ain't gonna get money doing that. Oh my God, don't do that. You ain't gonna leave that. You know. So I felt like she was gonna do that, and in order to avoid that, I just said yes. Yeah, I'll go. And I went, and I moved out with her. Not just, and during the flight, I forgot about Jack. I didn't even think about Jack. I didn't even think that we would meet Jack. But unfortunately, we did. And I saw him at that airport. I was like, oh, shit. What? You here? Oh, my God. And Jack's son is running at him. Daddy. And I'm like, piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. God damn it, I hate that nigga. I still do though. But damn it, I'm managing it though. Let's just let him go. I was like, you piece of fucking shit. Roll over and die. God damn it. God, Lord. I remember that thing. And because I was like, people are hugging him. So I'm also supposed to hug him. Fuck that shit. God damn it. I don't want to hug this motherfucker. Fuck you. And I was like, I forced that hug. My heart, the one thing with my body is always honest. You know, even if I won't admit the emotions that I feel, they will still come. Because I felt disgust inside. My body was like, no, please don't. And then we moved to the place that we're gonna live at. And oh God, this is basically the 5th location. Oh God, was it horrible. Oh my Lord. Yeah, oh God. Because then it began again. That's when he started to be a bitch ass. You'd see him on his couch, holding his head like this. As soon as I saw him doing that, I said, here comes the fucking drama. God damn it, why do I live with this motherfucker? And it's funny that I also played a part though in living with the bitch ass though, you know. If I had the mental fortitude, I could have gotten out there, you know, like be strict, you know, like when my mother's like, no, you gotta come, I'm also on that shit, like, no, I'm not coming. I could have been like that, but I wasn't strong enough. Maybe even now I'm not strong enough. But now that I'm aware, I want to be strong enough. But then, as soon as I saw him on the couch, I would avoid him. I wouldn't even speak. Most of the whole time, I wouldn't speak of him. I wouldn't even speak to him. The times that I did, it was fake. It was fake. And there was some realness because I wanted to lie to myself that maybe he'll be okay. Like maybe he won't be horrible. Like I wanted to lie to myself, but every time I did, he would show me the truth that, yo, I'm a bitch ass nigga, bro. You won't be happy with me. You know, and he'd be like on the couch acting all depressed, and then he would lash out all that horrible energy to my mother, because my mother, as soon as my mother would see him, you know, she's coming from work and she would see him, she would get anxiety. You would even see it on her face that she's like, oh my God, it's gonna start again. He's gonna try to hit me, belittle me, look down on me. And he did. He would blame her. That man was a bitch ass. He would blame him. You brought me here. You're the one who said you wanted to come here. I didn't want to come here. I did it for you. Bro, nobody forced you to do this. You did it. You could have been like, nah, scoodles, toodles, but you did it. You did it. We all played a part in this shit. You see this toxic shit? We all played a part in it. I played my part for not being strong enough to take myself out of that shit. My mother played a part to for not being strong enough to take herself out of that shit. He played a part for not taking himself out and not realizing that he's a piece of shit. And this ain't it. Because he enjoyed it. He enjoyed looking down on her and making himself feel good for that. So that's why he couldn't let go. But that's his weakness. We all played a part. And the only victim was really my little brother. In some point. Some points, I don't see him as a victim. But then came a time, from then on it was like arguments. Disgusting arguments. Not the normal one. Like, look at your family is a piece of shit. I'm better than you. Like, what? But then came when my mother was chilling with her friend and this piece of shit came in to the house, and I don't even know what he was angry about, but dude was angry and was like screaming at her. I don't even know what he was saying. But then I hear screaming. Ah! I know that's my mother. I went out. Same as usual. And by then I was also really beefed. Not that beefed though. Like around now, like this size. But I was pretty stoned. So I grabbed his body. Like almost a hug. Resisting, like holding his hands. And making him not be able, to fight. So I grabbed him. I grabbed his arms, locking them up. And then he's like, let me go. Boy, let me go. Let me go now. But then I was like, you're so pathetic, I wasn't even, the fear was still there, but it wasn't as much as back then. That time when he took my phone. Because right now it's like, I was the one looking down at him. And I don't say that's a good thing, because I'm better than that. I don't need to look down on you in order to feel better. I make me feel better. And I'm the one that hurts me. And I don't need to show you. No. Don't need that shit. But I was holding him down. And I pushed him to like these bars. There's these bars that we have over here, like these little bars, but I pushed him on these bars and I held these bars. So he's like in here, but I'm holding these bars over here. And his hands are like unable to go out. So he's resisting, he's trying to fight me. So he's desperate and he sees that it's impossible for him to go out. And guess what he does? He bites me. The bitch ass that he is, he bites me. I still have the mark over me. I think so. Let me see. Yeah. See this? This is the mark. It's the mark. It's the lower part, but the upper part, at least it's gone. Not bad. He bites me. Nom. He bites me. And I said, I kept going. You ain't leaving here. And he wasn't leaving. I was willing to break those bars in order to hold him, okay? And he saw that man, this man ain't leaving me. The whole time, leave me, leave me, leave. Nope. And he finally got his left arm out. And he tried to smack me or something. I don't even know. But he did like a sumo slap right on my eye. And I just go back to it. And I held him down. And it's like, leave me, leave me. Like, he sees that, man. If I really fought that dude, I really messed him up. I would have messed him up. I don't know why I doubted my strength. But that day, I showed myself that, God, Lord, I am strong. Okay? I am strong. Physically. I need to be stronger here. But then I was holding him, and finally, I was gonna let him go if only my mother says so. My mother said so. Let him go, boy, let him go, it's fine. And I let him go. And he's like avoiding me. He's trying to get, I don't know why he was trying to get from my mother. But I wasn't gonna allow that because I knew he's not really trying to get that, he's trying to hit her. So as soon as he tried that, I'm in front of him. And he's trying to push me or whatever. I'm still in front. Then my mother leaves for work and he stays. Oh, I think he stayed for a little bit. Talking all this bullshit. Nah. And I'm just there. Filled with anxiety and I'll say depression actually. Because in that moment, was I depressed? No, I don't think I was depressed, but I was filled with sadness. Not for crying, but like, this is horrible. I hate being here and having to listen to this bitch and him throwing these emotions to me because he wants someone to talk to. And I'm not that person, man. God damn. Because that was his therapy sessions. Fucking piece of shit. But then, I'm just there, sitting. And one time I looked at his eyes, and one time I was like, pathetic. And I looked down, and I was like, you ain't even worth words. And he really wasn't worth words. Because he was blabbling the same shit. I don't even remember what he was talking about, his daughter or something. Because I just muted it out. I sat there. And I was like, this shit sucks. Shit sucks. I hate you. And it felt so horrible, like, so horrible. This anxiety, this, I'd say it wasn't even anxiety, it was like, I don't know, feeling of dread. Like life is over. I'm like, this is impossible to get out of. Yeah. And then the day, I don't know, my mother came late because she was trying to avoid him. And he was like, yeah, I'm no longer gonna fight your mother. He always did that. He always did that. He would always come to me and be like, I'll never want to fight with your mother. I've learned my lesson. And do it again. So he did the same thing then. But then I wasn't even giving a shit about him. And sometimes I would agree because I wanted him to be like, calm down, bitch. At this point, I would do some things because I knew it would lead him to this peaceful track. More peace-ish track. And it's not worth it. I can't even commend it. I can't even be like, man, I was smart. I was suffering. I still am now. But it's way better. Because I don't longer live with him. And yes, thank you, God. I no longer live with him. I'm here. I'm alone, at peace, and it's nice. I live with my mother though. But most of the time, I'm alone. I'm happy. I'm so happy. But I could be more happier with facing my other fears, like talking to girls, talking to people I don't know, facing my fears. Facing my fears. But after the day, what happened? Let's say, the pretense came back. But by then, he was trying to avoid my mother. And he was only doing it because he tries to make himself a victim. Like, you did me bad. So I'm just going to stay quiet like the silent ninja that I am and be a good guy. Like, you didn't just create this drama. Bitch, nigga. So he'd sleep in the couch because he didn't want to sleep with my mother. So he says, I don't want to sleep with the cheating woman. Yeah, nigga. Okay. That is disgusting. But yeah. Like, why would you say that? Like, you are the one who creates this. I won't say you create the whole situation, but the fact that there was screaming, fighting, you are the one who did that. Bitch, nigga. And yet you turn back and blame that to someone else because you want to make yourself feel good. So after that, there was a lot of pretense, and I felt horrible the whole time, like living with him. Even my mother was feeling horrible. And came a time, came a time he was like, I'm moving out. And I knew he wasn't gonna move out. He's a bitch ass. We are the ones who need to move out or force him out. 2 options. It won't be him. He's weak. So when you said that, I knew is he doesn't want to be drama or he ain't gonna move out. So it's like, I'm moving out. 10 minutes later, it's back. And then it's like, I'm not gonna move out. I'm not giving up on this marriage. No. Why are you doing this? Why are you cheating on me? Why? Meantime, he's also cheating too. How's that make sense? You're mad about somebody that is doing something that you're doing. Okay. So he's out here in the room yapping. And I'm in here because I need to protect my mother. I know he's gonna try something. And it did. He snatched her phone, tried to break it, and looked like a dumbass. It's like, he couldn't break that phone. Tried to stomp it, it's not breaking. Because there's a carpet underneath. Dumbass. And then I tried to take the phone back because she needed it. And I'm like, where's that phone? She's like, no. And I'm like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Ugly motherfucker. And then while I'm saying that, he turns and headbutts me. Twice. He headbutts me. And even then, I still had that fear that what if I can't hurt him? And what if I get hurt? I still had that fear, and it made me doubt hitting him. So I just looked at him, and I smiled, and then I said, you enjoy this, huh? And he's like, yes, I enjoy this. I said, One thing I know in life, you get what you deserve. Take it however. What you put out comes back to you. And I don't even want to say it as like, yeah, you get yours. Nah. Because the ultimate goal is to heal myself. Not all this shit, revenge, hate, holding on. It's just to heal myself. So then, after he headbutts me, he leaves with my mother's phone. And I want